Yes, the crazy times. And for those of you old enough to remember Aquanet, yes, the Aquanet era for you, okay? Think about that time, how you felt. Anything could be turned into this or that. How many of you are here from San Diego? Anybody here from San Diego? Okay, I know we got the Temecula crew. Okay, hey, Hammett, Marietta. There's a train station, and the train comes. It's about the same distance as this room. And imagine this red train just coming down the line. Imagine a 15-year-old boy standing about this far, and in between the train, there's a little conductor house, some trees and bushes right here. Imagine this teenager standing by the bushes. Now, why would a teenager be standing by the bushes at a trolley station? School is just about to be let out. Train is coming. Teenagers are getting off this train. Besides this 15-year-old boy was a 13-year-old little boy. Next to this 13-year-old little boy was their mother. And this 15-year-old boy has anxiety. This 16-year-old boy is scared to death of what's about to happen. And you think, it's just a train coming, it's just a train coming. But on that train was his friends. Now you think to yourself, why is this person not on the train with his friends if they're coming from school? This person is wearing just a large white shirt that a lot of people would think it's an undershirt, and some jersey athletic type sweatpants, all from Walmart. Not to throw Walmart on the bus, I'm just saying, okay? It's affordable. And he's scared, he's trembling, he feels it, it's coming. The shame, the guilt, the judgment. You see, that boy didn't attend school today because that boy was homeless. That boy didn't want his friends to see him. That boy had nowhere to go. That boy did not have a home. 4 walls. Within those 4 walls, that boy did not have a pillow to cry on at night because he was worried. He was stressed. How many of us in this room end the day exhausted? And the only thing we can think about is putting our head on that pillow to get to the next day. So many of us, so many of our clients, that is what home means. I do what I do because I did not have 4 walls at one point in my life. I do what I do because I did not have a pillow to cry in as a 15-year-old boy because somehow he ended up sitting outside of the train station with nowhere to go because his mother did not know what to do. No point in my career will I ever allow somebody to not have a pillow, let alone a police officer, let alone a firefighter, let alone a teacher who dedicates her own commission so our children can have a better future, let alone my military brothers and sisters. I do what I do. My why is because I did not have a pillow. And I will make sure everybody has a pillow. That is why I do real estate. Why do you do real estate? Now I want to transition. Why do I do Homes for Hero? 2014, my 3rd deployment. I was deployed to, at this time, we were in South Korea, at the DMZ, a couple miles from North Korea, doing what we do. But I'm gonna have to backtrack for you to understand the emotions I was going through. You see, I didn't have a father. My father actually told me when I became older, he didn't know how to relate to me. He didn't know how to bond with me. But my little brother was a sports prodigy, so yes, Daddy was his coach for everything. I remember going up to my father one time, not that I wanted to play baseball, but I was like, I'll do baseball, like if that's what it's gonna take. And he told me he couldn't because he had to coach my little brother's team instead. I digress. So no, I didn't have a father. I have a bunch of other stories within that story, but needless to say, my grandmother has let me down. My mother abandoned us before we became homeless. My sister, there's some history there. Everybody God had put in my life somehow has let me down. And when I was on my third deployment, me and my wife at the time, we're still married. Don't tell myself that, okay? As all married couples do, we were going through a thing. We were going through some things, and I didn't think it would work. I couldn't see a future with this person. And I thought to myself, grandmother, mother, father, wife, why do we do this life? And I was on my third deployment. And I decided to try to end my life. We were up in South Korea, and I had a weapon, relatively easy for me to get ammo, put it together, and boom, you got a gun. But do you know why I did not go that route? Because I didn't want my brothers and sisters, at the time I was with the infantry, so there were no sisters around, but it was all brothers. I didn't want them to find me. I didn't want to hurt them like my family hurted me. And so I came up with a plan. I concocted this plan. I needed to get out. I needed to do something, but you're in deployment, so it's not like you're like, hey guys, I'm going to Walmart, I'll be back in 5 minutes. So you think of these things and you're in such disrepair and you're trying to figure out why do I want to end my life, but I care about these people's feelings? It shouldn't be that way. I should just be caring about me, and yet even in my brokenness, I cared for my brothers because I didn't want them to see me. So needless to say, I concocted a half-baked plan just because I was attempting anything, and I just needed it out, and I needed the pain. I needed to release whatever was going through me. And I ended up finding trauma shears. If you don't know what they are, they're very heavy-duty scissors. They can like cut a penny and stuff like that. And I decided to slit my wrist. But what I did not count on is my brothers jumping all over me when they found this out. And there is a timeline story. I was in the hospital, and so I eventually told them, like, I do want to end this life and everything like that. And so I was in the hospital, and it was late at night, so the check-in person, he didn't have the best bedside manner, if you know what I'm saying. So here I am going through all this, and he's acting like a butt. And I'm like, oh God. So I take and I saw the trauma shears, and I know what they can do. And there's this glass window, and on the other side of the window, they insisted on going with me. 3 of my brothers insisted. There was the chaplain there, the chaplain's assistant, and 3 of my brothers were right there behind this glass wall. And I said, I see those trauma shears. I said, if they look at me, I know it's time to go. And all of a sudden, they looked at me, and I said, I'm sorry. And I grabbed the trauma shears, and I immediately went to do this, and they immediately rushed in, and they immediately jumped on me. I'm still standing here before you today because I was unsuccessful, thank God. But what I learned out of that, they took me up to the ward for psych help. They were supposed to leave, but 2 of them refused to leave. They refused to leave my side. And I remember being broken and scared, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And I remember there's 2 beds, and the wall's right there, and I'm this way, and I know they're there, I can feel them. I turn over after like falling asleep, and I woke up, I turn over, one of them is sleeping, and the other one's like sitting up, like doing one of these, and he didn't know I was up. And I just remember looking at him. And they cared for me to save my life. They saved my life. How do you repay somebody? Saving your life with a small act. They were there for me when my blood was not there for me. I do Homes for Heroes because they saved my life. So if I can save them anything, even a reward check, I will do that. That is my why. Thank you for having me here today.